snowing again. It's a winter wonderland out there. It's beautiful though. Well, the snow, that was short-lived. It's turned into rain now. And it's been raining all night, all day today. I'm not complaining. It's pretty soggy though. I almost got stuck yesterday trying to go to Dollar General because it's so much mud. If I didn't have those all-terrain tires, I would have definitely got stuck. Because before I got them, I would spin on wet grass. And I don't spin on wet grass with these tires. I know someone had asked me not too long ago, what was my hair routine like? How do I keep my locks while I'm doing van life? The answer to that is, all I do is I'll wash it probably like once a month, sometimes once every 2 months, depending on if it's hot, cold, if I sweated it out or whatever. And then I just go like this and I pull them apart because they will try to fuse together and it'll be like fused together, and I'm not trying to let them do that quite yet. I've let a few of them fuse together because I had so many. I had over like 200 individual locks on my head. Yes, they get hot, but that's seriously all that I do to this. I don't cover it or anything, and I just pull it apart and wash it. That's it. Locks aren't that high maintenance unless you're trying to go for the really like neat looking locks. I wasn't trying to go for that. I was trying to go for the most simple way and low maintenance way to style my hair. So there's different types of locks. They're the really like neat maintained locks. Then there's the semi freeform locks like mine. Like my roots, I don't retwist my roots or anything. So they're considered semi-freeform and they're not like really fused together. No, the freeform locks, they're all natural. You don't touch them. You let them do their thing. And sometimes they'll fuse together, different clumps and strands, which is cool. I like freeform locks, which I will probably let a lot of these fuse together sooner or later. Those are the least maintenance locks. The reason I chose these is because one day I was just in my bathroom in Florida. I always wanted locks. I had tried to do like some form of, I don't know, ragtag, like put together locks that I had tried to like crochet with, and it just didn't work at the time. So I went back and I shaved my entire head because I did have like one of those S curls and I was like a pretty boy. I wanted like the little curls and everything. So I cut all that out of my head, grew my hair back, and then just started twisting it. I washed my hair and then I twisted it. And then I think maybe one time, I'm not sure, I may have used beeswax to like keep it locked. But after that, that was it. Like I just used the sponge method and they grew into this. And I love my locks. They have been with me for years and they comfort me. I love the style. They keep me warm in the winter and hot in the summer. I've really always wanted locks and I finally got locks, and I think this is it. I'm never gonna cut these. I want these to get as long as they possibly can. I'm in it for the long run. Alright, so I'm thinking about redeeming myself and making some more of the white pine needle tea. Last time I didn't cut the needles. You're supposed to take scissors and snip, 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 and then that way the little pieces can leach out all that goodness into your water, which I really didn't taste much last time. So let's see if I can redeem myself this time and give you an accurate review on this white pine that I collected from the Blue Ridge Mountains. So this time I'm actually cutting the needles, and that way it can leach out into the warm water. There we go. Gonna let that steep for about 10-15 minutes. We should be good to go. Pine tea is very high in vitamin C, and it's also high in vitamin A. This helps you build up your immune system. So it's a great drink just to make, and pine trees are everywhere, but each pine tree does taste different. So be aware of that. Now while we wait for the tea to steep, let's add some turbinado sugar to the cup. Just a little bit. I don't want too much. Let's see. That's not enough. There we go. That's good. I try not to overdo it on the sugar, but sometimes I get quite a bit of a sweet tooth. And I just keep adding sugar like I did just now. Yeah, whatever. All right, I think it's about time. So we're gonna go ahead and pour some tea. And usually you want the water to be like an amber color when you pour it. It was a pretty good little amber color, so that's how you know it's ready. And you can see that amber color as I was talking about. I gotta stir the sugar, that's just sugar in the bottom. So what I'm really doing is I'm gonna be experimenting with this. This is my first time, so making a cup of white pine tea. So I want to experiment with it, see what kind of flavors I can introduce to it. I'm going to try it just with sugar in it at first. Then I want to try it with some Saigon cinnamon in it and see if that makes any difference in taste. Oh yeah, it's a little warm, but it's delicious. Okay, I highly suggest the white pine tea. This is better than the long leaf pine tea that I had previously made. It's actually delicious. Now I want to add some cinnamon to it though, because I feel like the cinnamon will just step it up a notch, you know? So I'm going to be using this Saigon organic cinnamon. Just a little bit, not a lot. All right. It's in there. I'm going to stir it. Now let's see what it's talking about. Oh, rain's coming in through the vent. Okay, interesting. Let me get a few more sips and then I'll give you my thoughts on it. Okay, so it's a very earthy tasting drink, which I love. I love the earthy smells. I love the earthy taste. And this is a very well like earthy tasting tea at this point. It's white pine with the Saigon cinnamon. And it's like, it's good. I like the contrast in the flavors. Now, I'm not a professional taste tester or taster or any of that. So don't go solely off what I say, because sometimes my descriptions of this stuff can be kind of like off. But the only thing that matters is I'm really enjoying how this tastes. So another question I get asked all the time is what got me started in the outdoors? Like what sparked that part of me? I would definitely say growing up in really rural Virginia, where the house had a section of woods directly beside it, probably like 10 feet from the house. I would go in there. I'd be 5 years old. I would go in there. It was a creek in there. It had like crawfish and a bunch of other cool stuff down in there. So I always would love to be in the woods, in that ambient presence. And my cat Smokey also did. She used to come adventure with me in the woods. And one day, I remember pretty vividly, we walk in there and it felt like I walked 100 miles, which in reality, it was probably not even a quarter of a mile. and I got confused and lost. I was in this trove of pine trees, and I was like, oh no, I don't know where to go. I'm lost. So I look at my cat and I'm like, I hope you know the way home. And I waited a bit, and then Smokey starts to walk. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna just follow Smokey. Smokey's got to know where to go. We start walking, and sure enough, Smokey got me back to the house, safe and sound. If it wasn't for that cat, Smokey, I would have been out there panicked and lost. But goodness gracious, Smokey, rest in peace. Because of that love, it drove me to want to do van life. As I sat in a camper van, being a valet in Florida, I sat in a van, I looked in the back, and it was like an apartment, and I'm like, yo, this and outdoors goes hand in hand. I can go on weeks long adventures, months long adventures, and have like my own little apartment outside. And that moment right there, I fell in absolute love with van life, because before then I didn't know this exists. I knew those hot rod vans, they call them, I think, boogie vans and stuff, existed, but I didn't know they were actual like camper and RV type of vans and that sort of thing. So those old like hot rod vans is what's inspired my build, actually. That's why it looks like this, because I loved those builds. It was so unique and not cookie cutter, you know? But all right, y'all, that's really all I had for you today on this rainy, icy day. Days like this, I definitely don't want to get out there. It's cold, it's icy, slippery, slushy. It's just a lot of things that I don't want to deal with. So I'll just sit in the van and relax, turn my diesel heater on, and read a few of the ebooks that I have downloaded on my phone about survival, about preserving food, wild edibles, healing herbs. I love that kind of thing. I geek out on that kind of thing. That's just what I do. I want to thank y'all for kicking it with me. And as always, explorers, peace, love, and have a great day wherever you are.